Yeah, we have a lot of very big, very powerful ships sailing to Iran right now.
As the U.S. attack looms on Iran, Tehran is making sure its top leadership remains intact in case of any eventuality.
The Ayatollah resurfaced from his secret underground bunker on Saturday to mark the 47th anniversary of the Islamic Revolution, and it was the first time that he'd been seen in public since protests erupted in late December over the country's collapsing economy.
Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has fled to a secret underground bunker in Lavazan as the USS Abraham Lincoln carrier strike group positions within strike range of Iranian territory. Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei was moved to an underground bunker in Lavazan in northeastern Tehran hours after Israel began its attacks on Tehran, two informed sources inside Iran told Iran International. All members of Khamenei's family, including his son Mojtaba, are with him, the sources said. The 86-year-old supreme leader has completely vanished from public view as American military forces close in on Iranian waters. Share this with everyone you know, because Khamenei's disappearance into an underground fortress represents the most dramatic collapse of authority since the 1979 revolution. According to the sources, during the previous operations against Israel, True Promise 1 and True Promise 2, the supreme leader's family was also taken to the bunker. Before we break down exactly what happened and why this matters so much, please make sure you subscribe to the State's Brief Network. We're giving you the real analysis nobody else will touch. The supreme leader of Iran, Ali Khamenei, is currently hiding with his family in a bunker in Lavazan, about 100 meters underground, in a complex protected by anti-bomb and anti-aircraft systems, surrounded by agents recruited by the Mossad. Marco Mancini, former director of Italy's Department of Security Information, revealed this stunning intelligence. The current military clash between Iran and Israel represents the culmination of an intelligence operation that has been prepared for years, in which Tel Aviv has penetrated deep into the Iranian security apparatus, explains Mancini. The Islamic Republic is now crossed by a parallel structure recruited by the Mossad, also composed of members of the Pasdaran. Mancini cites the example of the last attack in which Ali Shadmani was neutralized, just appointed chief of staff of the Iranian armed forces. One of the drones was launched from a building adjacent to the building where he was sleeping, thanks to an indication provided in real time by those who were visually monitoring the scene. But here's what nobody saw coming that changes everything about Iran's survival. The diplomatic source added that Israel could have eliminated Khamenei on the first night of the operation. But the Israeli government chose to keep him alive to give him a final chance to decide on completely dismantling the Islamic Republic's uranium enrichment program. Trump had given Khamenei a 2-month deadline to agree to dismantle Iran's enrichment program. However, the supreme leader ignored both his and Israel's warnings. With the start of Israel's airstrikes, that opportunity has been offered once again, this time for him to realistically assess Israel's military capability and order the dismantling of the enrichment program. Khamenei was conspicuously absent from this week's Muharram mourning ceremonies, the first time in his 36-year tenure as supreme leader. The ceremony was held in his own headquarters in downtown Tehran. An Iranian activist wrote, "For years he disappeared others, imprisoned and executed them. Now he himself is under house arrest, vanished in a self-made prison in an unknown corner. The man who spoke unchallenged for 36 years and boasted with defiance now doesn't even dare to attend a Muharram mourning ceremony in his own home." Think about what this actually means for Iran's entire power structure and regional ambitions. The supreme leader has abandoned Tehran's surface. His absence signals that Israel's intelligence penetration runs deeper than anyone publicly acknowledged. Then came the revelation that puts Khamenei directly in American crosshairs. The USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier strike group has crossed into the area of responsibility of the U.S. military's Central Command, the Middle East region that includes Iran, CENTCOM confirmed. The strike group is comprised of the Lincoln and 3 guided missile destroyers, the USS Frank E. Peterson Jr., the USS Spruance, and the USS Michael Murphy. On board the Lincoln are squadrons of FA-18EF Super Hornets, EA-18G Growlers, F-35C fighter jets, and MH-60RS helicopters. Trump said on Thursday that a U.S. armada is heading towards the Gulf region with Iran being its focus. "We're watching Iran. We have a big force going towards Iran," Trump said, "and maybe we won't have to use it. We have a lot of ships going that direction. Just in case, we have a big flotilla going in that direction, and we'll see what happens." Its carrier strike group includes Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, equipped with Tomahawk cruise missiles capable of striking targets deep inside Iran. The U.S. military vessels en route to the Middle East are also equipped with the Aegis combat system, which provides air and missile defense against ballistic and cruise missiles and other aerial threats. But then intelligence sources revealed the true existential crisis Khamenei faces trapped underground, while American warships circle overhead. Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei has nominated 3 clerics as potential successors as he hides in a bunker while facing threats of assassination by Israel, the New York Times reported. Khamenei has also named an array of replacements down his chain of military command, in case Israel eliminates more top officers, according to the report, which cited 3 Iranian officials familiar with the plans. 2 Iranian officials said Iran's intelligence ministry has ordered all senior government officials and military commanders to stay underground due to the possibility that they will be targeted. The ministry has also ordered officials to stop using electronic communications, including cell phones. Khamenei himself now communicates with his commanders only via a trusted aide. Khamenei's succession is a tense issue that would otherwise be decided in months-long deliberations by Iran's Assembly of Experts, according to Iranian officials. The clerical body that will now have to choose from the supreme leader's 3 nominees should he die. The officials said Khamenei knows the U.S. or Israel could try to assassinate him, views such a death as martyrdom, and wants a clean transition of power after his death, both to safeguard his legacy and to ensure Iran doesn't get bogged down in messy battles of succession while at war. And here's where it gets even more dangerous for Tehran's leadership. President Trump attempted diplomatic talks with Iran through Turkey before ordering military strikes, but Ayatollah Khamenei failed to engage in negotiations. According to the New York Times, Khamenei is sheltering in a bunker and has suspended all electronic communications with his commanders. He is relaying orders only through a trusted aide to protect his location amid assassination concerns. Trump was reportedly working with Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan to coordinate high-level talks between U.S. and Iranian officials in Istanbul. Trump told Erdogan he could deploy Vice President J.D. Vance and White House envoy Steve Witkoff, and Trump offered to come to Turkey himself if it could mean meeting with Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian. Erdogan and Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan reportedly communicated Trump's offer to Pezeshkian and Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. Pezeshkian and Araghchi then sought to contact Khamenei to get his sign-off, but were not able to reach him for hours. Sources told Axios the Iranians then told Turkish officials they could not get Khamenei to approve the meeting. The Turkish side then informed the U.S. that the meeting was off the table. Khamenei's inability to communicate destroyed Iran's last diplomatic pathway to avoiding American military strikes. But what American intelligence discovered next exposes Iran's complete vulnerability to carrier-based strikes. The USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier has entered CENTCOM waters in the Indian Ocean amid increasing threats from Iran, a senior U.S. official told Fox News. A leading U.S. drone expert told Fox that Iran's drone swarms would pose a credible and serious threat to the Lincoln and its strike group. Iran has created an effective asymmetric threat against highly sophisticated military systems with its fleet of unmanned drones. Iran can launch large numbers of relatively unsophisticated drones directly at naval vessels, creating saturation attacks that could overwhelm traditional defenses. If hundreds are launched in a short period of time, some are almost certain to get through, the expert said. Modern defense systems were not originally designed to counter that kind of saturation attack. For U.S. surface vessels operating near Iran, warships are prime targets. Yet American planners clearly believe the carrier strike group can operate effectively despite these Iranian drone capabilities. Then the Pentagon activated the protocol that signals imminent American military action. The primary reason for the blackout is a condition known as River City. It is the Navy's highest level of digital containment. When the one setting is activated, all non-mission essential communication channels are physically severed. This isn't a malfunction, it is a tactical switch flipped by the Admiral. It ensures that no accidental digital emission can betray the ship's location or operational intent to Iranian intelligence. The USS Abraham Lincoln has gone completely dark. By cutting off the internet, the command ensures that the only information leaving the ship is what they want the enemy to know, maintaining the element of surprise for day one. The ship's satellite pipes are finite. By cutting off Netflix, FaceTime, and YouTube for the crew, the ship repurposes 100% of its bandwidth for the kill chain. Every bit of data is now reserved for finding and fixing targets in Tehran, ensuring the combat systems run without lag. When a U.S. carrier strike group goes calm dark, it is a universally recognized signal of intent. It tells the Iranian leadership that the time for diplomacy and posturing is over, and the time for kinetic action has begun. Think about what happens next as Khamenei cowers 90 meters underground while F-35C fighter jets prepare strike packages aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln. An Iranian journalist abroad tweeted, "Ali Khamenei taking refuge in a bunker is neither a sign of wisdom, nor foresight, nor revolutionary courage. This act of seeking shelter means our skies are filled with abobble birds. We are defenseless, and if Khamenei is lost, the collapse will only accelerate." And now the regime's inner circle is preparing their escape routes. Iran International has obtained information indicating that Ali Asghar Hijazi, Deputy Chief of Staff to Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, is in negotiations with Russian officials to secure a potential exit from Iran for himself and his family if the situation deteriorates. According to the information, a senior Russian official has assured Hijazi that, in case of escalation, Moscow would facilitate his evacuation via a secure corridor. Other senior Iranian officials have reportedly received similar contacts, with some already finalizing their own exit routes. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps now faces an impossible strategic dilemma. While Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was a constant presence, issuing daily statements and projecting resolve, Khamenei, Iran's commander-in-chief, was largely unseen, releasing only 2 video messages during the conflict, one almost certainly filmed in a bunker. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz publicly confirmed that Israel actively sought to assassinate the Iranian supreme leader during the conflict, but couldn't as he went very deep underground, meaning there was no operational opportunity. The threat was so acute, Khamenei reportedly suspended all electronic communication and relied only on trusted aides. But analysts are now warning about what comes after Khamenei's bunker leadership destroys what's left of his authority. Both experts agree that while a coup is unlikely in the short term, the IRGC's influence is only set to grow, especially as Khamenei's advanced age brings succession questions to the fore. The IRGC is inching closer to considering the clerical leadership more as a liability than an asset. The opening Israeli strike eliminated an echelon of Iran's military command and exposed serious structural weaknesses within Iran's leadership and security apparatus. These setbacks, compounded by damage to Iran's missile arsenal, nuclear program, and regional proxies, have left the Islamic Republic's strategic doctrine in disarray. Every major external shock to the Islamic Republic has historically contributed to the expansion of the IRGC's role in the system. The IRGC has emerged from the crisis as the political establishment's backbone, rapidly filling critical command gaps and positioning itself as the indispensable institution for the Islamic Republic's survival. IRGC generals could theoretically attempt a coup, though Iran's military institutions are not monolithic. The IRGC is an ideological and asymmetric force, while the regular army is more professional and nationally oriented. The IRGC also participates in massive black markets. Some analysts say that the spate of U.S. sanctions has benefited the IRGC at the expense of Iran's public and broader economy. With the U.S. reimposition of oil sanctions, the IRGC has smuggled oil, mostly to China, and generated millions of dollars. Many regional experts expect the IRGC to play a pivotal role in selecting a successor to the aging Khamenei, which could further consolidate the group's power and increase barriers to political reform. And here's what makes the succession crisis even more catastrophic. Once the supreme leader passes, there won't be a very powerful Ayatollah around that can match the stature of Ruhollah Khomeini, the revolutionary leader and founder of the state, and Khamenei, the successor who ruled Iran for decades. The power vacuum in the clerical dimension of the Islamic Republic has been reinforcing the Guard's claim to be the country's ultimate oppressor. Should the system survive Khamenei's passing, it is unlikely to remain a theocratic tyranny in its current form. Instead, Iran would drift toward a military dictatorship cloaked in revolutionary symbolism, less calm, more Pyongyang, where uniforms matter the most. Regional powers are preparing for the potential fallout from Khamenei's bunker leadership and possible assassination. Saudi Arabia and the UAE are monitoring the situation with extreme concern, recognizing that any American strike could trigger retaliatory attacks against their territories despite their refusal to support U.S. military operations. Israel is calculating the precise window of opportunity to eliminate Khamenei while he remains trapped underground, knowing that his assassination would trigger immediate succession chaos within the Islamic Republic's power structure and potentially collapse the entire clerical system. Turkey is attempting to mediate while protecting its own strategic interests in the region, balancing its NATO membership with its economic ties to Tehran and its desire to position itself as a regional power broker capable of preventing wider conflict. The European Union remains divided on how to respond to the crisis, with some members advocating for diplomatic engagement, while others push for maintaining maximum pressure on the regime as it descends into internal chaos and paralysis from bunker leadership. The United Nations Security Council is paralyzed by competing interests, unable to coordinate any meaningful international response as Khamenei cowers in his bunker, while the USS Abraham Lincoln positions its strike aircraft within range of Tehran. One thing is absolutely certain. Khamenei has fled to a secret bunker 100 meters underground in Lavazan, surrounded by Mossad agents who have infiltrated his security apparatus. The USS Abraham Lincoln carrier strike group entered CENTCOM waters carrying Tomahawk cruise missiles and F-35C fighter jets while operating under total communications, blackout signaling imminent kinetic action. Israel spared Khamenei's life to give him one final chance to dismantle Iran's uranium enrichment program, but he remains unreachable even for diplomatic negotiations. The 86-year-old supreme leader has vanished from public view for the first time in 36 years, while his deputy chief of staff negotiates escape routes to Russia and the IRGC positions itself to inherit the collapsing Islamic Republic through military dictatorship. This story continues. Stay tuned.